As Covey tells us, trust is the product of trusting. We have to lead by entrusting others. And the positivity that we put out in the universe comes back to us like a return on investment. Our next presenter is Natalie Torres, who's here to let us all know that it's all perfect already. Natalie is an account executive with Reemployability, a leading organization in helping open new doors to returning injured workers to service. A graduate of Marquette University, Natalie continues to expand her education in mind, body, and spirit. She holds an associate in claims from the institutes. She's a certified leave management specialist, and she's a certified instructor through the Yoga Alliance. To help us explore the next set of virtues in our journey to understand the character of this industry, here now is Natalie Torres.
Hi, everyone. I stood there watching Gabby, Jazzy, and Elsa go from children with a very different life become princesses with new families, homes, and most of all, a new beginning. On that bus ride over to the Give the Kids the World event, I was talking to the person next to me about how we really don't need social media because we all know one another. There is a very special weave and heartbeat to the people in this industry. So it's a combination of that bus ride and the thoughts of the connections that we all share in this room and the emotional response that I had to my service work that I had just done with my team at Reemployability, that really an understanding of my life had come together with the crowning of these little princesses. As I saw them bouncing around so happy in their new lives, I realized it's all perfect already. Perfect. Many of you know my husband, Jesse. Well, I can say that when I saw him carry my father to meet his sister for the last time when he was dying from lung cancer, that perfect already was not the descriptor I would have used to describe my life. No, you could not have convinced me that it was. But in fact, it was. See, my dad had been sick for a year and he didn't tell us. I don't know why. But he managed to walk me down the aisle and we didn't lose him until 3 days after our first wedding anniversary. But he got to walk me down the aisle and give me to Jesse. So it was all perfect already. Jesse and I got to our in sickness and in health part of our vows right away. I got calls from him at school when he was doing his Master's of Urban Planning that he had fallen down, or that the pain was so severe that he wanted to give up and have his leg cut off. See, Jesse had always wanted to be a Marine since he was a kid, and he had been in a horrific car accident that basically took that dream from him. But no, not Jesse. When they told him that he couldn't, he learned how to walk again, and he became a United States Marine. He served us for many years, and it was the pride of his life until the injuries from the car accident and the Marine Corps life, we had to take another turn. I began to struggle with coping with the loss of my father. Jesse was struggling with the pain and the crushing nature of his injuries. It made it difficult for him to work. But again, he got creative and returned to work as a driver. I had been in the hospitality industry for about 20 years before I joined this one. My most favorite thing of the day was opening the door to my first guests, welcoming them, finding out who they were. It was the most joyous part of my day. One day I opened up that door and that joy was just gone. I knew that I had to serve people in another way. I knew that I had to move on in humanity, and move on I did. I joined this industry. Jesse was still hurting. His injuries were becoming worse as time went on. We found ourselves in a very version of the industry that I had just started a career in. I had entered the career, but I was on the other side. I was the wife of an injured worker. The time we spent seeking the care that Jesse had earned as a Marine, it taught me so many lessons. Firsthand, what it was like to be caught up in this workers' compensation industry. In the environment, it was just on the VA side, the military side. But those lessons that I learned, they guide me in every client engagement, every decision that I make. It drives me really to get up every morning to make a difference in the life of the injured workers, to give them some clarity and erase that fear and uncertainty that we had, that we endured. And through that, we endured slowly, very slowly, to understand that it was all perfect already. An obsession of mine is tracing the patterns and moments where my life had fantastic, radical change. The stardust, sweetly, shooting star crashing moments. My Instagram profile reads that I don't want to be reduced by life. I want to be destroyed by it, because then, and only then, can I say that I lived. My friend asked me the other day, how do you get destroyed by it and come out the other side? It's like Hemingway wrote, life breaks some of us, and some of us are truly broken. But some of us, we struggle, and we come out stronger in all the broken places. Most of us that we work with in the industry are in some way broken and in pain. There is no one in this room that doesn't know struggle. But it's through that struggle and the human connection of the struggle that we can all come together to understand those that we serve and erase some of that fear and uncertainty for them. Jesse knew pain, and through him, so did I. He was to the point again where he could barely walk. But once again, as he had done to become a Marine, to go to school, to get up and take those jobs before his body came out, he rose up again and he found a path forward. He had discovered yoga years before he discovered me, and through him, I found yoga. Through my practice of it, I adapted new principles of truth, kindness, and living in the present moment. Early on, I adopted this life mantra: it is nearly impossible to be here now if you think there is somewhere else to be. The practice brought me back to myself when I felt completely lost after the death of my father, and Jesse, he continues to use it to endure and cope with his injuries. And of course, we own together all the time now. Now, Jesse is a philosopher and a farmer, another childhood dream come true. And my favorite thing is when I see him put down his cane when he goes to work at his own farm. The world comes to you if you let it. We spend most of our lives trying to make things happen in this world, but the world is happening to us whether we like it or not. It's all about the way that we respond to it. What is meant for you will find you. As I watched Gabby, Jazzy, and Elsa that day, so in love in their new lives, I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I knew it was all perfect already. Thank you.
Great job.
All right.
Yep. All right, so we're ready for the poll.
Thank you, Natalie, for sharing your story, and we're gonna embrace her in her word cloud. So let her have it. Let her show what character strengths you saw in her, and we'll continue to see.